Alright, so it looks like we have to go all in on the last point now. Yep, so how can we win a game where the enemies have 600 tickets as attackers and we have a team that's highly incapable of defending? Well, here's the thing. Step 1, you wish for the last objective to be easily defended. And this is luckily the case for us. It's a building, quite tight building, small building, with only 2 doors here and a window in the front. Meaning we can completely cover it with barbed wire. And then you have a door on the left side. And that's it. There's nothing else where the enemies can and a door on the right side, obviously. This is, for a building, it's very, very little. And since most enemies, the fastest way to get in will be through the front is completely sealed off now. So this is the first step. Now we're gonna build some tank blockers here on the outside. This makes sure they can't do nonsense with tanks by just placing the tanks straight to the side and shoot into the building. And also slows down groups of soldiers running around. Also synergizes well with mines because you can do multiple shenanigans by combining anti-tank mines and anti-personnel mines next to tank blockers, because they're gonna slow down a group of soldiers, and then you can trigger the anti-tank mine in a delayed way with the normal mine thanks to the tank blocker, which I described in the mine guide. It's gonna be linked down below. So yeah, tank blocker is very helpful. Alright, now we sealed off the building completely. Now step number 2, we need to counterattack. I can't build a rally sadly, since I'm out of resources. And now we just need to push forward, counterattack, and accomplish that we push the enemies as much as possible back, so we have more time. And then with this we're gonna buy time to build more rallies and place a bunch of APCs. And then we're gonna have enough pressure to defend the point. So not only the pure defensive work of sealing off the building, but also the counter-attacking work is important. Because if you don't counter-attack, you give your enemies an easy way to spam many rallies and APCs around the point, and then they can easily capture. And it won't necessarily help killing them, because they will instantly be respawned. Alright. We see we are 56 meters away and enemies are spawning roughly 100 meters away. This means they don't seem to have rally points. They seem to have only natural spawns right now. Okay, so we already have spawning far away to build a rally would take forever. So bringing APC and then counter-attacking again. So we hopefully grind the enemies down a bit, push them back, and then die, and then spawn with an engineer and build a rally, so we have 2 spawn points. Yeah, that's a strategy. It's literally about being as efficient as possible, because the enemies had 600 lives, 600 tickets, and they have the superior team. So every play we do needs to be perfect, and perfect automatically means fast, because if it's slow, you give your enemies too many chances. Dot fence though. Alright, yeah, I see why our team isn't that effective in defending. They're literally sitting around 45 meters away, but not in the front where you need to be, but in the back. Oh my fucking god. Okay, this is a nasty area. Enemies are quite hard to spot. And of course, always drop random mines whenever you push forward, because not only pushing you or the enemies back physically, but even after you die, you're gonna slow down the enemies and especially annoy them. Alright, almost half the ticket straight. Good. Now, by the way, this doesn't mean that we get an easy win since they haven't started capping, because if they use the time to build rallies, the first attacks were very weak, and now they're gonna attack in waves because multiple people spawned, and this is the dangerous part. Alright, they got a lot of dudes here. Let's see, how well is our defense? Now, since the enemies are so annoying, I'm gonna give them the grenade launcher treatment. Alright. The engineer structures are absolutely crucial for a defense because they make sure that whenever the enemies attack, even if they have 10 soldiers or 20, they are still slowed down. They still have to wait outside. Exactly like this, that they can't get in. If they can get in, they're slowed down, get stuck in the barbed wire and so on. So a bunch of barbed wires can easily stop dozens of soldiers and give you enough time to successfully defend. Yeah, like engineer structures are extremely underrated. And people heavily underestimate their impact. Okay. Now, I would like to spam more barbed wire in the front, though, since there are enemies literally out behind, my engineer would instantly die, so we need to give us more time and push the enemies back again. Alright, okay, they stopped ticking, very nice. Oh, this looks like a big group, come on. Okay, no big group anymore, but this is a big group, yes. And you see, this dude wouldn't have stopped if there wasn't barbed wire everywhere. The best thing is, if you spam barbed wire in the sides, people, like the smart players, they know you don't rush in a building as an attacker in a straight line. You go in and then instantly go left or right, because otherwise you will be shot by anything. But if you also place barbed wire on the left and right as I did, these people will... Oh, let's get them. Let's get them. Oh yes, motherfucker. Oh yes, motherfucker. And you too. Nah. What? Alright. We got VG'd. Alright. If you have barbed wire on the left and right side next to a door, most enemies will be completely surprised and confused while they're slowed down. Okay. Now here we need a sandbag, so if enemies are inside, they can't spam full auto in our entrance. But it's lucky we survived. Yeah, I'm gonna give fire suppression and more grenades, motherfucker, exactly. Yeah, you see how effective these, even a single sandbag is extremely effective, because a single sandbag means he can't just fucking rush in. And a single sandbag in front of our entrance means we are safe when we try to get in the point. Not having these two sandbags means that a whole enemy squad can rush in and destroy us and we lose the game. So yeah. Okay, now this is another advantage of this point. We have the high ground and we can just camp here. What the fuck? Yeah, I didn't expect him. Yeah, that was unlucky. We got shot exactly out of everyone. He shot us. Okay. Alright. This is another point people often do wrong. If the point is almost like 90% controlled by you, people try to find the last remaining enemy soldier, but usually if he's well hidden, he's just gonna get a couple easy kills and you just waste your time. Instead, never try to get these last soldiers. This is a very impactful tip. Instead, just do something useful just by going somewhere where you can get lots of kills. Like, for example, this, I'm just gonna ignore him. Oh my... Who's grenading us? That's a very annoying mofo. And it's always us up here. What the hell? Alright. Let's see. Okay. What the fuck? There's literally someone constantly spamming grenades. Like, how many grenades can he have? Alright. Yep. We need the mass now. We need to bring that mass over there because this is gonna get close. Okay. And another good... Oh my god. Another good factor that you can see is that whenever a game is so close, you know that literally the reason why we managed to hold were these couple sandbags and barbed wires. Because they are exactly what made this thin difference. Without these, the game would have been lost. And now the last mistake to avoid, stay focused until the last second. Last second means until the game says you won the game, and there's 0% chance of winning for the enemies. The reason for that is, if you also just spam more barbed wire. Because if they are somewhere hiding, this makes sure that they can't bum rush with the last squad and get the win in the last seconds. Alright, that was some heavy work. Yeah, now you know how to defend really hard. If you're far behind, if the enemy team is way superior, if your team doesn't defend well, what you need to do is buy yourself some time. And we get some graphical errors. Alright. Buy yourself some time by counter pushing. Once you bought yourself enough time, spawn a new squad and start spamming structures so the enemies can't get in. After that, start building rally points and spam NPCs so you have enough spawn pressure, and then you just repeat the counter-attacking. If the enemies aren't in your point, you just counter-attack and push them back and search for enemy rallies to destroy them. If you are under pressure, you obviously defend your point. And if you see alright, it's hard to find the enemies, especially if you don't know a map inside out. I, for example, rarely play this map because I hate it. Though this time I played since it was raining and I was in the mood to do a nice game here. And I like to defend, so I thought, alright, let's do this. And this point, yeah, we got lucky. This point is very good for defense. And roughly 1/3 to half of all objectives in the game are so easily defended. And yeah, like use the ground, use the area always to your advantage. If you can seal off an objective, if you can seal off a building, absolutely do it. Because if you don't do it, what is usually a good advantage for you becomes a complete and utter disadvantage. Because if the doors aren't sealed off, the enemies can just rush in through all sides, and you don't know where to defend. And even if you have even if you had 30 defenders in the point, one single grenade is going to kill them all. Because you saw how we were clustered up in the first part of the building. So yeah, engineering wins you games, absolutely. And this is my recommendation: try out this hard-tight, watertight defense, and you're gonna see your win rate skyrocket. All right. Let me know what you think, and if you have some additions to what could be done in these types of situations. And until next time, goodbye.